dad was my martial arts instructor, and early on, I started martial arts before I even started school. There's so much more about the art of fighting that I had to learn. When to fight, how to fight, when not to fight. A lot of self-control, a lot of self-discipline, all those things. So, orthodox fighter who is someone who is right-handed, and so the power's coming from the right hand. If you are dominant right hand, you are expected to always go in the dominant style. If you are left-handed, you are expected to go in and fight southpaw. If you fight southpaw, you have a lot of advantages because most people do not understand how to fight a southpaw fighter. You would begin fighting orthodox. And so basically, the mind is to strategize on how to take you out based off of what they know. The key for me was, that's what you saw. You always saw me as an orthodox fighter until the moment I switched. I would always switch up and fight southpaw and immediately take you out. But what they failed to understand was that I was skillfully trained to throw off my opponent in a moment's notice, to switch the game up. I would kind of move around a little bit. I would see how my opponent would move so I can study them for a second to see how they move, how fast they would move, how slow they would move, to see if they're orthodox, to see if they're southpaw, and then also, how they lead, if they're a defensive opponent, if they're an offensive opponent. And then when the moment is right, switch over, southpaw, and strike. 1, 2, 3. Never fail. And this is why preparation is so important. So we get used to just kind of doing things a very, very traditional way. Whatever it is that we are attempting to do in our lives, we get so used to kind of like this routine way, this traditional way of doing things. But if you set yourself up to doing something non-traditional, doing something unorthodox, then this is where you start changing the game for you. It's where you really start winning. If you want to get something different, you want to have different results, then you have to do something different. But part of doing something different is learning how to step outside the box, learning how to challenge yourself to do something different, challenging yourself to learn something new, challenging and pushing yourself beyond the limits of what you are doing now. And so that is what I was trained to do. I was trained to do something extremely different for me. It wasn't easy. It took a lot of discipline. It was painful, and it took a lot of what I always say, stick-to-itiveness, right? And so this is where we have to stick through things and stick to it, even when the going gets tough. Because if you don't, then you don't see the results that you want. You'll never get to the place that you want to get to if you're not willing to push yourself to do something different. You can keep doing the things that everybody else is doing. And you can keep letting people tell you that you have to do it the same old way that everybody else is doing. And if you continue to do that, you will always get the same results that everybody else is getting. But if you want the results that are meant for you, then you have to start stepping outside of the box and pushing yourself to do something different, learn something different, and build yourself up to start setting yourself to be in a position to receive what it is that you want. You want something different? Do something different. You want to have something greater? Push yourself to greater limits and start moving yourself into new heights. If you don't, then you'll end up with the same results and wind up in the same status quo.